Welcome to KJTV, and today I want to discuss about the recently concluded Kenya Anti-Corruption Multi-Sectoral Conference, which we saw the conference brought different stakeholders in Kenya to discuss about how to fight corruption in Kenya. And it was so interesting to see what the many people talked. Actually, it became more of a blame game in the conference than actually talking about any tangible solutions. For me, it came short of actually addressing the issue of fighting corruption in Kenya. Now, there are three branches of government: the legislature, executive, and the judiciary. And we saw this come into play where each is blaming the other. And it was so much. Take, for example, the judiciary. The judiciary got a beating. They were accused that they are acquitting the accused, giving bonds to the accused who should be in jail. The magistrates are being corrupted. They are getting bribes, and so many things. That is the judiciary. And in his part of the Chief Justice Maraga talked quite emphatically about this. That he told the DPP, provide concrete evidence. He clearly stated that the war against corruption is going to be won by, the war against corruption will be won by evidence. That's what he clearly stated, that I have no right to be a CG if I have to confer with the DCI and DPP to assist them in prosecution. That the aggrieved people go, they don't go, and they say clearly that they don't go look for the cases. Well, they need to support to investigate corruption in the judiciary. He accepted there is corruption in the judiciary, but he needs the anti-corruption body to investigate. And then he asked to invest in technology. I thought that was a good recommendation he gave, that we cannot live in mediocre whereby even now the cases are being on files and other things. We need like video cameras and other things. And then he also said that magistrates now will be controlling their schedule, and they needed courage. I don't know which courage he was talking about, but that's what he said. The executive, where we had the DCI, the AG, and the DP, actually they have been accused of doing a short job. They are protecting the powerful. They are ignoring court orders, for example, like the case of Miguna. And they are not willing to prosecute those who are charged, but they have connections in the judiciary. The legislature also got beating because they are underfunding the judiciary. For example, now, Parliament takes 2% of the GDP with only 1,000 employees, while the judiciary takes 0.5% with 7,000 employees and with multiple locations. That is absurd. And it was also noted that 70% of county allocations go to recurrent expenditure, including benchmarking and bonding, where people go other countries. Well, it really brought the people, and we have seen some of these cases. But the president gave an elaborate speech where he blamed also the judiciary, and he gave a good example, like the Akasa family, who are in Nigeria, in the United States of America, and yet in Kenya they were freed. Well, he gave some recommendation that we will start providing the positive, championing the honest, celebrating the humble, as recommendation for the conference. That he will introduce the conflict of interest bill, whereby if he's a traffic officer, he's not supposed to do the matatu business. And they talk about the Endeavor Commission. And it's recommending that the professional bodies like Law Society of Kenya needs to discipline these people who are found to be corrupt. Well, to me, it appeared that it is fall short of expectation. This is just a band-aid and the lamentations. We have heard about this all a long time, but if we really need to face corruption in Kenya, we will have to apply a double loop planning to come up with actionable solutions. Now, why protect the path? Mr. President, yes, you talked that now the country is celebrating the path. Take an example for Waiguru was a cabinet secretary. She stepped down due to NYS scandal. And Kabura gave concrete evidence how the money was being channeled to Waiguru. What did it happen? The cases were dismissed, lack of evidence. So everybody and the corruption, they were bought, everything was covered, and it was cleared, and they went ahead to run as a governor of Kirinyaga, and now he's a governor. Why couldn't you start with her? I mean, that is actually celebrating the corrupt. Unless we see people like Waiguru being prosecuted, we know something was done, because the lady clearly said that we cannot be arresting gold thieves. Then we say we are fighting corruption. Yes, you provide, you celebrated the humble, you celebrated how the women's golf team brought money back. That is too little. That is not even corruption. If we really need that, we would want to see people like Waiguru face the law and go to jail. And those who are powerful, the integrity law is not being fully implemented. Really, if Obado is accused of murder, and he goes back, as Haj says, he goes back, and he's in the office of the governor, why couldn't he step down? Where did we take our integrity? Are there some people, if he's accused, yes, as Maraga says, he's presumed innocent, but for integrity, if your integrity has been questioned, step aside, let us clear you, come back. That's one area we have to fight. And then, if we want really to fight Kenya and have really good leaders to lead, let us reduce the salaries of elected officers to attract honest men. Because in Kenya, actually, we don't have politicians. We don't have political leaders. What we have is political entrepreneurs. People spend millions of money to get voted in so that they go make money, and are going to make money through corrupt means. It's absurd that in Kenya, members of parliament and other elected officials earn so much money. So even if you are an honest man, there's no way you can win an election. Tell me if you can win to be a governor if you don't have billions. Where are you going to get that? You will spend billions knowing that you will get that when you go in. So that is one of the areas that if we really want to do that, let us reduce the salaries and remove all those remunerations. Then we will not attract the political entrepreneurs, we will attract good leaders who will change and make the country go. We will have to start by example. And I would saw clearly when Ruto was talking, Ruto could not say anything because he knows he's corrupt, and you could see it in his eyes, and he had nothing to say. He was too vague, too out of touch and guilty. Why can't we come out and say clearly those who have been accused, let them step down? As Haj says, you leave this person in office, he corrupts, he takes off the computers. So please, I would think, then let us jail the big fish to show a good example. That is the only way we can fight corruption in Kenya, and we will need to use technology and even secret service. I will think we need to send people who pose even as employees even anywhere where we feel corruption is, so that they will participate in that the inside job, so that they come with evidence, either with a videotape or recording. And then we need to have even the people we have suspected, let us wiretap them, what they are doing. Let us have somebody follow the case, and let us reward officers who bring and prosecute people who are doing corruption. Let them be promoted. Let it be on merit. Let us not just give somebody a position and he has done nothing. Let us know that he has followed a case to the letter, and if he asks for resources to follow someone, if it's a Parasara chief, why can't you send even somebody as a secretary? You would be there knowing and then feeding the information so that they will know exactly what they are doing. And I think if we do that, then we can do. But what we are saying that those are, they just scratch the surface, and we also need to acknowledge, one of the things we need to acknowledge first is that corruption started in Kenya a long time ago, but we may not dig back, but we can seal where it's leaking. Thank you for listening, and I hope this recommendation will get to the right people and they will improve.